Hello, everyone, and welcome back into another episode of The Three View. Today, we are here with Northeast General's General Manager Bryan Erikson. How's it going today?
Good, Brett. How are you?
Good, thanks. So we'll kind of jump right on into things. So you guys had your fourth consecutive trip to the Fraser Cup last season. Obviously, that puts a huge target on your back. Talk about how you guys are going to, kind of ignore that target and have another successful season.
Yeah, since Darryl took over, Darryl Locke, our NA3 head coach, about 7 years ago, we've just continued to win every single year, and we put that target right on our back, and it's something that we cherish, and we're excited that every game feels like a playoff game because teams are really out to get you. They're really coming for you, and I think part of that helps increase the competitiveness of the East Division. But Darryl does a really good job. We have turnover, every year in our roster, and kind of play the same style and the same mindset. And, we're excited to have that target. And, at the end of the day, we probably lost the most kids we've lost, ever from year to year. But, we're
Hmm.
excited. We fully expect to win the division again.
And, talk about being a league veteran and how the NA3 has evolved over time.
Yeah, this will be our 10th year in the NA3. And it's been crazy. There's been, subtractions and additions and the one thing that's been constant is the league's success and the league's promotion of players and, the ability to move players within the NA and even to other leagues. And it's been pretty phenomenal. So, we've got, I don't know, I think we've had, five or six kids, not necessarily just from our NA3, but kids that we've taken from the NA3 on the tender that have played Division I college hockey. We have two
Hmm.
goalies that played only NA3 that are playing in Hockey East. That level has just increased every single year. And, once again, I always bring it back to the league office and the job they do at the showcase in December, the job they do in St. Louis, at the Fraser Cup, and the amount of exposure that our guys get. So you've seen the evolution of the league. And as the NA's improved and the NA3's improved, you just see more and more kids get committed, and we're just excited to be part of it.
And talking about the additions to the league, the East will be adding two new teams in the Maine Nordiques and the Binghamton Buzz. Talk about that expansion in the East and like the league as a whole.
It's great. I mean, especially when you're adding teams with NA programs. We
Hmm.
have the New Jersey Titans. We have um, now we have the Binghamton Buzz, which are owned by Elmira. We have the Maine Nordiques, which are obviously Nordiques. We have the New Hampshire Mountain Kings. So having those teams affiliated with just raises our level of competition.
Right.
And you even have teams like the Long Beach Sharks and Norwich Sea Captains who do a phenomenal job, have always been very good and always been very competitive. And I think having those NA teams in our like purview and in our ladder here just raises that competition of the East. The East had gone from, 8 teams to 6 teams back to, now to 7. And it keeps our footprint pretty small. So our travel isn't too bad.
Mhm.
However, it's still Division 1 and Division 3 country out here. There you can throw a rock in any direction and hit, 4 or 5 schools. So
Right.
it really sets our kids up for the best for their future. And obviously our goal with every kid is to come into the NA3 and then move up to the NA or to Tier 2 hockey. But that's not always the case. So some cases are, they stay and then they end up making that NCAA commitment. And that's something that we're super proud of to be part of.
And you guys are obviously one of those organizations with the NA team in the same building. Talk about the relationship between the NA3 and the NA team and, how you guys are able to build that camaraderie between the two.
Yeah, we do it, different, not necessarily better, we just do it differently than other teams. We have both teams in the same building. Both teams have the same skills coach, goalie coach, athletic trainer. Everything's kind of, combined because we want to have those NA3 kids get the same experience that the NA kids do. We
Mhm.
practice staggered so that, I can pull kids up from the NA3 team to practice the NA team pretty regularly. And I'd say, on an average day, I have 2 to 3 kids practicing from the NA3 team with the NA team. Just get them used to the level, get them used to the speed. Um, and then by doing that, it allows us when we need to pull kids up, they're ready, they're game ready. We called 4 or 5 kids up last year that played games. They came in, they didn't miss a beat, they were able to slide right into the lineup. So being in the rink, I'm obviously, the head coach of the NA team, but the GM of the NA3 team. I'm also on the bench for about 25 to 30 games a year with the NA3 team. It's
Mhm.
nice. So you get, it's not a coach telling you about a player. It's us getting to see each player, talk to each player, make sure that we're all part of their development and growth plan. So,
Right.
meet with players one on one. My assistants on the NA team will meet with the NA3 guys one on one. Everybody knows everybody. We try not to make it NA3 gens, NA gens. It's just you're a general. When you walk into the
Right.
building, you're general. And we're all going to play hard and we're going to play a similar style. We're going to be good citizens and we're going to be good hockey players. And we're all going to strive to get to our next level, whatever that next level is.
Yeah, absolutely. And, talking more about the next level, you guys, if you look at your commitment page, you see, a ton of alumni from the NA3 that went on to the NA and committed to college, in addition to, the NA3 players going off to college as well. Talk about how the generals are able to help these players get to the next level.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's on the kids. The kids buy in, and at the end of the day, if you don't have the buy-in from the kids, it doesn't really matter how good of a job you're doing. So, for us with Darryl, he gets the kids to buy in. We do, make sure that we're communicating with the kids of what they need to do to get to the next level, how they have to, prepare and then show them those abilities. So it's not simply like, yeah, you're not ready. It's literally specific things that they need to do to get to that next level. Our captain, Nick Recupero, last year on the NA team was an NA3 alum. He played in the NA3
Hmm.
for us the year before. Tyler Ram, who's going to Plattsburgh, played for our 16 and 18 UNA PHL team, our NA3 team for 2 years, played in the NA. It's really about that promotion and about continuing to develop. We had Danny Antel, a goalie, played 5 or 6 games for us last year for the NA3 team.
Hmm.
Excuse me, just because one, we needed it, but two, he was really good, and having those two teams in-house and having those two teams really kind of push each other, allows us and gets us in front of colleges. We committed 6 kids NCAA, 2 kids played pro, and 3 kids got tendered or drafted in the NA, and that's what for us at the end of the day it's all about. Yes, we'll have more roster turnover because of it, but at the end of the day, we're in it for promotion of kids. And ultimately, if we do that, it means we did a good job.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys are making the switch this year over to the Canton Ice House. Talk about your new facility and, what generals can expect going into this new building.
Yeah, so the Canton Ice House is a pretty relatively new 8-year-old facility, 2 sheets, shares with a really prolific NCAA school, and we just kind of own one of the sheets. So basically, we have ice from 8:30 to 3 every day. And it's for the two teams to use. So the kids have a ton of extra ice. We have a gym on site. We get nice locker rooms. We have a full, amenities. We had a pretty good setup down in Attleboro, but it was time for a change for us from
Yeah.
an organizational standpoint. But what we want is we want to create an environment where everybody, like I said, feels like they're just a Northeast General, and this will allow us to continue that that journey and that growth. Keep us able to bring kids practicing with us, make sure that they're getting the same treatment that kids on the NA team get. And we're really excited about it. Canton's a really great location. It's 20 miles south of Boston. It's near every major highway, so it's a really good location from school standpoint. We got a lot more schools at the games, and ultimately, that's the goal, is to get to the rink every day, give kids an amazing opportunity to improve as both people and as players, and then ultimately get to that next level.
Yeah, and as we look forward to, this upcoming year, who can Generals fans expect to return to this year's team?
Yeah, so we have three pretty big returners. We have Mason Frary, who will be our captain. He's an 04 forward, great kid, great hockey player. We have Ryan Solari, 05 defenseman, captain, great player. And then we have Michael McLaughlin, forward, another captain. So we have 3 guys returning that know exactly what we're trying to do. We have some other guys that know our organization that either came up from the 18U or, are proliferating up from within our organization. But
Hmm.
it's going to start and pretty much end with those 3. Those 3 are going to drive the engine. Those 3 are going to be basically extensions of the coaching staff. They're going to be an extension of Darryl and myself, making sure that the boys are ready to go. I mean, we expect a lot of our kids. We
Hmm.
work them hard. We expect to play hard. We expect the kids to have fun away from the rink and and be good soldiers. But we expect when they get to the rink that we are ready to work, and that won't stop. We're certainly hopeful that we're going to be the #1 team in the East again. However, we don't take that, for granted. We know that it's going to have to start with work on August 26th when we report for training camp.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, as the organization's general manager, what goals do you have for this year's upcoming team?
Well, so we've been to the Fraser Cup 4 years in a row. Last year we lost in the national championship game by a goal to Helena, and obviously our goal would be to win that. The one goal though that we always really have as an organization is to be competitive in every game. Colleges don't want to watch teams that are poor, that don't perform well on the ice. So
Right.
obviously, the more wins we get, the better we are. The better we put ourselves in to play the top teams at the Showcase in Minnesota, which is the greatest event the league puts on. The better position we'll be able to put our kids into getting those NA tenders, getting those NCAA commitments. We really strive to, tender from within our organization. We don't
Right.
promise anybody a tender when they come here, but we're going to see them every day. We're going to know how they fit into our locker room. We're going to know how they fit into our culture. And ultimately, that's what drives us, is the ability for us to, help kids reach their goals. We had a kid tendered in El Paso. We had a kid tendered or drafted with Johnstown. We've had kids go to other teams, and that's wonderful because, sometimes there just aren't enough spots left, at our NA level, but our job is
Right.
to push kids to their next level. And once again, you know, doing that, having that ability this year, that's going to be our number one goal. We have one of our goals that we signed, he's already right now, he made an NA roster, and, maybe we won't get him back. Maybe we will. I don't know. But the point is we're signing the right kids. And ultimately, if we're going to help them reach those goals, we need to be good on the ice. So we expect on August 26th, when we hit the ice, we're going to be the best conditioned team ready to go on game one, and we're going to start hopefully physically and emotionally beating up teams, and we're going to make sure that we are hard to play against, and teams know when they see the Generals on the schedule that it's going to be a tough game regardless of what the outcome is.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for hopping on this call today, and we look forward to seeing what you guys do this year.
Thanks, Britt.
Thanks.